Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Perspective Philosophy, where we try to better our perceptions of the world through philosophical discussion. In today's episode, I'm going to be responding to one of you. So, I'm sorry if I get your name wrong, Zambi's Kid left me a message on one of my videos, and in that comment was a gold mine, I think, of people's fears and doubts of socialism in terms of what I've spoken about in terms of anarcho-syndicalism. So what I'm going to do is show why there's no need to worry and show how socialism can overcome these problems. Before we begin, I have some very exciting news. My course, An Introduction to Western Philosophy, is now available for pre-sale at 33% off its usual price. None of this would have been possible without the kind donations of strangers who allowed me to get this mic. And so for everyone who did donate, whether it was $2 or $200, you will receive a copy of the course. But for everyone who donated the higher amounts, you'll also receive an hour of my time free of charge for if you want to discuss philosophy or whatever it is that you'd like to talk to me about. And for those of you who entered the raffle and would like to see who won, stay tuned to the end where we draw the winner. The first point Zambi's made was on automation and the fear of automation causing an issue in terms of economic distribution. Now, this is a genuine fear through all economic modes of production. It seems to be causing a great deal of problems in capitalism, in fact. How are we going to get workers money if there are no workers anymore? Like, how are people going to survive when the jobs are gone, when they've been automated and they've been replaced? See, I actually think that this is a problem of capitalism and not a problem of socialism. And I'm going to explain why. So the fundamental difference between capitalism and socialism is the function of the market. The function of the market within capitalism is its own end. The market is the thing we care about. In socialism, the market is a means to an end for the well-being of the populace. People work and do their jobs in order to survive and live happy lives. Capitalism is about profit, not people, and that is the primary difference. Automation within capitalism and this fear of the worker being replaced is actually an aspect of the ideology of capitalism. It is the continued objectification of the individual to the point of disregard. There isn't a problem of automation, there is a problem of objectification. It's not that we are being automated and replaced, it is that our roles in the workplace have already been so objectified and so divorced, alienated from what they should be. Now, how would I say socialism would overcome this issue? Primarily by rejecting the objectification of individuals. They are not employees, they are owners, they are workers. They are as deserving as any other member of that company of ownership of the company. Automation then cannot remove the individual's well-being from the process. It only allows the individual to have their labour saved, and that's what automation was meant to do in the first place. It's in capitalism that we have confused money and wealth. Money is an expression of wealth. Wealth is what is actually tangible. It's what makes a difference in our lives. And so what I would say is that automation is meant to produce excessive wealth. And that does not mean that people should get paid less. I think Alan Watts actually makes this point brilliantly.
It's important to understand this about money. A lot of people don't know it. Money is a measure of wealth. Money is not wealth. Money is like inches. Dollars, let's say, are like inches. They are a way of measuring real wealth, which consists of material resources plus energy plus intelligence. That's wealth. Money represents it. And so, therefore, we don't realize that as our wealth increases as a result of an expanded technology, we have to provide enough money to circulate it. In other words, we have to pay people for the work done on their behalf by machinery, because otherwise the manufacturer won't be able to move the goods off the shelf. Now that seems an outrageous idea, frankly in disaccord with the Protestant ethic. You mean give people money? Where's the money going to come from? Well, money never did come from anywhere. It's like asking, where do inches come from? It's simply a question of realizing that technology was invented to save labor. That doesn't mean in order to dismiss your employees. It means to let them have a vacation. In other words, a shorter work week. And for you yourself as the owner, less to do, so that you can go and gaze at the moon or make love to your lady friend. And why not do it? Well, everybody feels guilty about it. So they think, having archaic minds, when we didn't have this technology, that they got to go on behaving the same way as when machines didn't exist. And I raise the question then, why do it at all?
So as you can see, the problem of automation would not affect a socialist market, because the socialist market is one that is subordinate to the social sphere of existence. Automation only becomes an advantage, a way to reduce labour hours, a way to give people back their own time, a way for people to take charge of their own lives in a way that they could not have done in the past. And so I don't see the problem of automation as being a genuine issue for socialism, but it does need to be overcome by the socialists who understand themselves to be in it for themselves. Any individual who understands themselves to be an island, to be separate from other individuals, is misunderstanding the ideology of socialism. You are not a capitalist competing for profit over one another in order to gain a triumph over your fellow class members. You are working to make the world a better place. You are trying to be a better person. And by better, I mean cooperative, caring, compassionate. The next point he makes is about exploitation and how it's still likely to occur within the market environment. Now, I understand he's basically saying that individuals, corporations, competitors will compete, and some people will lose and some people will win, and ultimately create a sliding scale of wealth distribution. And that wealth distribution won't reflect labour and time spent, or even the quality of the work done, but instead will respect sellability and the ability to operate and be successful within the market environment. I actually agree with much of this. However, I would say that exploitation should not occur within a socialist environment, and there's two reasons for that. One, again, the market is subordinate to the people. People understand and regulate the market based upon what they believe individuals should be fighting and competing for. For example, I would argue as an anarcho-socialist that individuals are entitled by right to healthcare, to education, to a standard of living which meets a certain criteria. Regardless of anything else in their lives, they are entitled to have that opportunity. And they're entitled to improve those standards if opportunities are available to others. In other words, they're entitled to all of the basic needs that they require and a minimum standard of livelihood, as well as being able to enter the market environment as a self-sufficient individual. Now, this is not incompatible with market socialism. The individuals who lose in market socialism should still be entitled to this minimum condition of living. And because individuals are competing in a market which allows individuals to succeed and have better lives and construct this society, they should understand that in their competition they can disadvantage others and make sure that they provide them with the ability to maintain a certain livelihood. Another point that is important to make is the movement from competition to cooperation. An individual who produces a company that expands and expands and expands and expands like Amazon, and it starts dominating the whole market. If it's actually a good company and I come and work for the company, I should own part of the company and I should own my labor that I produce and be paid accordingly. In which case, even if my company does not succeed and I'm given the opportunity to, join your company, or you appropriate my company in the exchange, then it can and should be a fair arrangement. If it's not a fair arrangement, then it's not socialist. We've lost the ethic that is behind it. People over profit. Otherwise, you are right. We would see a resurgence of a new class. A group of individuals who use the market system against the foundations of our society to take advantage politically, socially, and economically other individuals. But then behind that, I would say you are seeing a resurgence of capitalism. You are seeing a resurgence of capitalist greed and ideology. The exploitation of the consumer and the worker for the advantage of a certain capitalist class. That's all you'll be seeing. So this is a problem of capitalism. Once again, not a problem of socialism. The last point he makes is on the ruthlessness of the market, the immorality of a market which is cold and has no interests other than itself. Markets not actually dealing with the social problems we face today. Markets being about the production of money rather than the production of well-being. Now, again, think about what a market would look like under socialism. What you've got to remember is that socialists do not want total political deorganization. Actually, quite the opposite. We want to be much more organized. But also, we want it to be organized in such a way that we can make decisions democratically as a populace, which affect the way we are allowed to behave within the populace. Anything that is considered an unethical behavior by the majority of the populace and condemned as being unjustified for a market environment. Anything that would cause exploitation or harm. In which case, we can see that market socialism does a great deal in resolving, even in its distributionary methods, a lot of problems. This can prevent people making poor life decisions, whether it's falling into bad habits and hopelessness, turning to drugs and other horrible substances. This can prevent people from feeling exploited and overworked. This can prevent people from being economically coerced into a task that would otherwise be alien to them. Think of sex workers who do not want to participate in the industry, those who have no other alternative. Market socialism gives the opportunity for the individual to be their own boss. Every individual should begin with the same standard and have the same opportunity to progress themselves within this environment. No one should be exploited in socialism. No one is a means to an end. The end of socialism is humanity. It is possible that we could reach a point in which Lenin or Trotsky or any other idealist, dreamed of. The point in which scarcity has been destroyed. The problem of automation actually becomes the advantage of a technological success. The immorality of the market is gone because the market itself serves the individual in such a way that none of us even care about money. And the exploitation of individuals over one another, the competition, no longer exists because what we compete for is no longer measured in wealth. It's no longer measured in money, but in self-improvement. Now that is what is called upper stage communism. And that is the overarching goal of socialism. Socialism is to lead to an environment in which people can express their subjectivity and their creativity in the greatest way possible. And don't get me wrong, I do not see this coming anytime soon, but the whole point of the market isn't to create wealth that is to be enjoyed by a particular individual. It is to elevate sentient life to the position of sovereignty, to understand that everything we do is for an ethical end. Otherwise, it's not socialism. It's just not capitalism. It's another kind of system. It can be a hybrid between them, and I do expect that to happen as we progress. But we must remain vigilant in teaching our children ethics, in learning ethics ourselves, and applying it in our lives. Socialism is only an economic expression. It is not the be-all and end-all of human life. Socialism gives us the opportunity to feed ourselves, to help others feed themselves, and not consume selfishly and indifferently to the suffering of others. It gives us this bread to share, not to consume alone. Thank you everyone for watching this video. I hope you've all enjoyed it. If you do like this video, please leave a thumbs up. And if you want to leave a comment in the comment section below, making a point about capitalism, socialism, whatever, any question you may have, I will endeavor to make a video like this one to respond to you. And if not, I'll at least try and respond in the comment section. And now for the raffle winner. So congratulations, Benji Big Boss, on winning an Introduction to Western Philosophy. Check out your Discord DMs for a code to access my course.